Hey guys, welcome to Pillars of Eternity. I have not played this game before, but it looks really good. You think of Baldur's Gate, that's what it reminds me of, and I'm pretty sure that if you looked it up they would probably say they were influenced by Baldur's Gate, because it definitely has some very Baldur's Gate-like themes to it. Even the mouse cursor looks the same as Baldur's Gate. So I've played some of it actually, so I told a lie before, just to get my head around how it works and just to have a bit of an advantage when I go into it. But anyway, let's start a new game on normal. Got all these wonderful modes here, but I feel like normal's the mode that I should go with. Normal difficulty requires strategy and efficiency, but forgives a few mistakes in combat. It is not recommended for newcomers and real-time strategy party games. Well, I'm not a newcomer. I'm by no means a master. Once you've gained access to the stronghold, the menu can be accessed at any time from the central HUD.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Ah, ye old character creation, huh? I think we should go with the classic male character for Shizzle. Male. The place of men in society varies from culture to culture. Cultures from, like, I'm going to butcher these words so badly. Adur and the Dur word place them in the forefront of military, politics and heavy labor. Among the tribes of that place, men perform many of the homesteading and organizational duties. In the Erglanth and Ixma, men and women have more fluid social roles in all societies. There are exceptions to the rule, and men can be found to have a wide variety of stations and professions. So you can actually mouse over these things, and it gives you a bit of a blurb as to what it is, which I think is great. Durward, colonial nation founded by settlers of the Adur Empire. Following a series of conflicts with the Adur, the territory became independent in 267 AI and is now ruled by a duke? Duck? Not sure what that is. Who's elected by the 7 earls that oversee its heirlooms. Fascinating. Erglanth, the territory comprised of the forest of the southeast of Bale River, populated indigenously by a group of loosely affiliated tribes collectively known as Glanfathans, and governed by a council of its 6 most powerful tribes. Erglanth is home to a large number of ruined Enwichan tribes with Glanfathans hold sacred. The ruins have been a center of a number of large-scale conflicts with Dyrward colonists whose settlements have often encroached on Glanfathans territory and who frequently seek to plunder the ruins for their relics. Okay. Yikes. So many races, I probably won't read through all this. You got humans, Auma, mighty largest of the growth races and commonly found in near oceans, thought not truly aquatic. They have an affinity for water in many of their civilizations, such as, whatever that is. Based on naval dominance, they are known for their unparalleled strength. Interesting. Very interesting. Dwarves. Elves. Ulan, something new. Haven't really heard of these guys before. Ulans are the smallest of the Kurth races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies. Ulans are commonly found in Erglanth, the plains of the parts of Direwood. They are known for the mental intensity and quickness. Okay. And godlike. These things are strange as all hell. Look at that. Wow. The godlike are children of the Kurth, civilized races, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms, often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. They seem pretty interesting. But I think... what's resolve do again? Internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and emotional intensity. They project others. Can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. In combat, it helps characters maintain concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defenses. Not bad, not bad. Ooh. I'm intrigued by the godlights. Dex and intellect. I think we'll go with just a normal human. Okay. Not 100% sure what this section does. They all, at least for humans, they all have the same thing blurb here. Fighting spirit once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance. Fog temporarily gain bonuses to accuracy and damage, and it's the same throughout. It's just a bit more difference in the blurb over here. Yeah, Ghost of Anafolk, I guess. Okay, our class. Monk. You just have a lot of stats. Interesting. Don't really like to fight barehanded though. I'd love to go wizard. It's definitely one of my first choices. Although it's a priest. Priest devotes of eras, deities, and practitioners of religious magic. While all priests dedicate themselves to specific gods, priest power is actually derived from their personal beliefs. In contrast to most paladins, priests tend to focus on philosophy, teaching, and relationship with the religious organizations within common folk. Perception of priests in any given part of the world depends largely on how their gods are revered or reviled by the people who live there. Ooh. Starting abilities. Holy Radiance generates a modest amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. Good gods. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputations the priest gains relative to behaviors they are preferred by his or her deity. Interesting. Spells. Priests have access to a variety of support and some offenses-oriented spells. Ooh. Every 2 levels, priests automatically gain the access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As priests gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift per encounter. This here is great. Per rest and per encounter. Fantastic. A per rest ability can only be used for a set number of times before running out of uses. For example, an ability that has 3 uses per rest may only be used 3 times. To regain these uses, the character must rest. Per encounter, it works exactly the same way, except it's per combat encounter. So as soon as you're out of combat, it restores. It is great. I love it. Anyway. So it's pretty much like mana, I guess, you could say. There's no mana in this game, from what I can see. Just health and endurance. Or was it fatigue? Forget. What's a cipher do? So his ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and physique using ally or enemy's essence as a focus of their magic. The ciphers were still fond of the Eastern Reach practitioners. Sorry, I got lost there. Predictions of the technique have spread throughout the known world. They gain acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Starting ability. Power ciphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects, whose powers cost focus, which ciphers build through the use of their soul whip. Okay. Might just silently read this now. I was thinking of going a support character, something that can heal people. And I feel like the priest is definitely the one to go with, because I was thinking I was going to go like a cleric, but it's obviously been taken over by the priest title. That seems like the best option for what I'm wanting. Because I wanted to go something that's going to be maybe close combat and definitely magic based, or just a pure magic roll. Wizard is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. If you get him high enough, he can cast some epic spells. Screw it, we'll go Wizard. Let's be well, we'll be... crap, I forgot the word. Selfish, that's it. Jeez. Alright, we get to pick our level 1 spells. Cause a blindingly white icy fog into existence, influencing blindness and freeze, inflicting blindness and freeze damage over time in any area of effect. Not too sure what blindness does exactly. I think it just makes your chance to hit much lower. The thing which I would love to get is this one, Minor Missile. Summon 3 spell missiles that batter the target, inflicting crush or corrode damage. Or corrode damage. Wow. There are 8 types of damages. Wow, 8 type? Slash, pierce, crush, burn, shock, corrode, freeze, and roar. Roar, gosh. They must be hand to hand. Damage types are used to determine how easily a target resists damage of that type based on their damage reduction. A creature or suit armor may be very resistant to one type of damage, but quite vulnerable to another. Some weapons or attacks may do multiple damage types or list an OR between the damage types. When an OR is listed, the attack will always do the damage type that the target is most vulnerable to. That's grand. Raw damage is the only damage type that ignores all damage reductions and is generally associated with poisons and similar effects. Ah, okay, fair enough. That is fantastic. So it does one or the other depending on which one they're least resistant to. Cool. Spirit Shield summons a caster with a shield of spirit energy, granting increased damage reduction and concentration bonus. I think that's great. What's that one? Glow Blades. Calls a field of unearthly blades into existence, inflicting immediate pierce damage on and a hobble affliction on targets. Hobble characters have dexterity reduced by 2, movement by 1.5, and reflex by 20. Cool. First level's wizard spell. Yeah, why not? Fleet Feet empowers the target with unnatural speed, increasing the movement rate. Plus 3 movement speed, plus 20 defense when disengaging for 20 seconds. It's not like haste. Haste was great. I guess haste will be a bit further up though, because it's so freaking good. Overwhelms anyone in the area with an effect of brilliant and bewildering pyrometric display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Dazed victim is accuracy is reduced by 10, dexterity, perception, and intellect are all reduced by 2, and attack speed is reduced by 15. That's not bad. Yeah, I'm happy with that. This I don't understand. Why is might highly recommended for a wizard? Very, very strange. Very strange indeed. Well, let's go with intelligence. I think we'll pop that up to a fair bit. Pop you up to 16. That doesn't give us much to work with, but I don't think we need... Oh, we need dex as well. It's recommended for a wizard. I think it's if you're getting to close combat, so... I'm thinking later on you can get like a wizard that's a sort of a fighter slash caster, which would be pretty interesting. Don't know if I want to go down that route, but that's going to be pretty cool. Eternal drive. I think 9's okay. Perception. Maybe 10 resolve, 9 there. Slightly high dex, maybe 12. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. So what is the culture? What culture we belong to? So I want to probably go with one that gives me +1 to might, maybe. Maybe intelligence again. Nope. Constitution +1. Intellect +1. Okay. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valar is now the crumbled remains of the Empire warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the Old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. +1 intellect. Or should give us the might. You. Living with the lands, living with the lands and mountains region of the large northern island. You know, let's just go full on mage power. So this is your background, where you came from. Don't think I need mechanics. I think mechanics is like your chance to pick locks and disable traps and whatnot. Stealth +1, law +1. I wouldn't mind a bit of law. Because law's pretty good. It's used to activate scrolls. Higher law values allow the character to use higher level scrolls. So that's pretty good for a what I want. But I think I'll go aristocrat. You've lived your life amongst the nobility. Your days have been marked with lavish meals and extravagant parties. Your conversations peppered with talk of pedigree and bloodlines. That sounds like me all over. Okay, the portrait. There's not many portraits, unfortunately. Which is a bit of a shame, I wish that there was more. Anywho. I think we'll go with that style there. That seems pretty good. Skin sounds good. Hair, yeah, I think black hair is fine. Need some facial beard going. Beard does not match the hair color at all. Well, it does in certain lights. Head, don't think you can really worry about that too much. Hair is definitely needs to. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Simple and to the point. I liked this guy.
I'm here. I'm flattered.
Yeah! Just say the word.
I've got this.
Charge!
Silence surrounds me.
Oh?
I shall lead us. Let us end this.
Sounds a bit strange, but he is an aristocrat, so let's go the mystic. Enter the name! Of course it has to be Lord Pie. Done. Go, go, go. Caravan Master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red moustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks over you.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker. But see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in your direction. Spoutful nods and slides the warm bow over his shoulders. Where can I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
So I've got the tooltips enabled, which are useful to read over. Your character's attributes, skills, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for your dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices depends on individual personality and attitude. Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much. Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
There's a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate.
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beowick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, Never care to.
What are these huge rocks coming out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Oh, like a soul gem. Interesting. Let's go find those berries.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
Scans of the travellers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armour-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without a blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up in her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
I'm in love.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayadin should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
So that's my one slight quib about this, is that they've got these things here saying what their emotions are, but then the text is voiced, so you don't really get a chance to read this until after they're done speaking. It's not a huge thing, but it's just something interesting.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Alright, welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Ura, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. I will be doing that for a time being. Your party always consists of your character and up to 5 additional companions or adventurers, while the caravan is camped outside the... I can't remember how you pronounce that. Glamfathan ruins. Odima has assigned Kaliska to help you. Kaliska is a fighter, a class that excels at close quarters defense. Use her abilities to complement your own. To select a party member, do selecting things, I'm already aware of those, that's not too important. To move characters, yep, multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden, select a single one to do it, so
Yes?
select him, you get all these wonderful spells and whatnot. So this here, the Arcane Assault. Attacks, reflex, and will. Interesting. Not sure what that is exactly. Right click for more details. Reflex defense allows characters to dodge or out of the way physically harmful AoE attacks, explosions, lightning. Defined by character's class, dexterity and perception may also be influenced by the effects. Strange. Anywho, you've got 2 per encounter, so as I said, it's per combat encounter. Oh, nice. It's got a bit of a radius around it. Unleashes a bolt of magic energy from the Grimoire that inflicts a raw damage and dazes the target's area. I should say that the Grimoire is like your spellbook, which holds all your spells in it, and don't know exactly what it is just yet. Wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells that are always limited by the capacity of their grimoires. At any given time, a grimoire may contain 4 spells of each level. Click on a spell on the right panel to remove it from the grimoire. Add spells to empty slots by clicking on the spell on the left panel. So I can... don't think I really want that. Oh. But then that's the problem right there. You can't add more than one of a certain spell to have it double up, which is very strange. I don't understand that just yet. Anyway, let's Got our inventory, Callista. It's gorgeous. Just putting it out there.
What you need?
So she's got knockdown, shoves an enemy with enormous force, knocking them prone but causing little damage. But whilst on the ground she can just wail on them. These tall green pillars appear as if they are sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within. The tab is to highlight interactable objects and characters. Going to be doing that a fair bit. And what do we get? Just a piece of armor which is not very good. And a lockpick which we can use to open this.
It's done.
It's done. Oh my gosh, you mystic poop. Why did I go with the mystic voice? Most people you encounter in the world are neutral, friendly.
Anyone need supplies?
You can
I've got
interact with
sundries
them
for
by
sale.
clicking on their selection circle. Yep. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes is transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to the shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Right. If you think this caravan is a prickly, watch out for the axe wielders, a demo mentioned. He laughs. That's excellent advice indeed. You've now gained 1 rank of disposition and reputation. These reputation represent how people perceive your personality throughout the world. Even seemingly nice reputation will be favored by some people, and benign reputations often bring out the worst in certain people. No disposition is inherently good or bad in Pillars of Eternity. But if your main character is a priest or paladin, which we're not, you must be careful not to misalign their disposition with what is favoured by their deity and order, respectively. For the main character only, their disposition will modify the effects of the Holy Radiance for priests and faith and conviction for paladins. Interesting.
Something else you need?
So some
Like
of
we're
it's
settled
voiced.
for the night.
Sorry. Some of it's voiced and some of it's not. Tell me about the Ada Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravanners. Why'd you move out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Ada colony, so it seemed like a good place to start, and as much as I admire the Raedirans' work ethic, they always struck me as a little fanatical. That sounds reasonable enough. Oh, out here I'm just taking it one day at a time. Let's check out what you got. Stores allow you to trade your items for copper, CP, or items in stores inventory. Merchants buy or sell from you at greatly reduced prices, and they will sell it to you for 3 times more, blah blah blah. Not too sure what this portraying character thing does. I assume if you're not happy with your stats you can redo it. Costs a fair bit. I guess another little quip is the sorting of items. I don't particularly understand it. Like you click on that, then it'll just highlight all the weapons it doesn't actually remove any items like the armor and whatnot. Anyway, let's sell that, huh? Because I don't care for it. That's all I really want to do. Because I've got a scepter, two-handed rod, two-handed. That does pierce slash, mine does crush slash. So I'm happy with that for now, and it's probably expensive, isn't it? 38 copper. I can afford it, but I don't see a reason to do it right now. We're in the starting area, so meh. Okay, let's take a short break here, and we will be back in a little bit.